Hello, future people. Welcome in for some more Minecraft slop content. The divination card message for today is "Find your claw," and now I would interpret that as the time being just right to find a way to fight back against the deceptive special interest of the world, something like that. And with that message, I welcome you in to my mundane world. Welcome back to my secret YouTube channel for another secret video that very few people will watch, and even fewer people will actually like. But maybe sometime in the future, it will be discovered by other human beings like you, or non-human beings. All beings are very welcome, even if you are entirely artificial or alien in nature. I welcome you. Today's topic, well, let me talk about what I plan to do in the game first. I decided I want more wool, because I don't want to keep coming back here again, since I'm already out here, and I know there's plenty of sheep over here. I bet you there's going to be more sheep along the way, too. I'm going to, I'll probably encounter more sheep. But I just wanted to come back here and shear some more sheep, actually, just so that I don't have to keep doing this. I want a whole bunch of wool, because I want to not run out of wool when I need a bed or two or three. So, the topic for today, I wanted to talk about disagreement, and about how uncomfortable people get about disagreement, and what to do about that, and why I think that is. Why do I think that a lot of people have a very hard time with disagreement? Because I'm not one of those people. I thoroughly enjoy disagreement. See, I want to put a fence post here. Well, there were a bunch more sheep here. There's just one walking around now. Where are the other ones? Did they all move up the hill? So yeah, disagreement. Why does it bother you? Or, I mean, maybe you're not one of those people. Maybe you're also very comfortable with it, like myself. But for those of us that feel very sensitive to it, I think this video is for you. Because I think I have an antidote to it. I think I have it figured out. I think I understand why people feel uncomfortable with it. I think that the antidote to disagreement is intellectual humility. Wow, look at that. Another death chasm. Definitely want a fence pole here. Yep. There we go. What is intellectual humility, you might ask? Well, it's the acknowledgement of how little you understand things, which is really the human condition. Most people don't really understand things as well as they'd like to say they do. People like to act like they understand things very well. And you don't have to preface everything with "I think." I mean, I think it's, to a certain extent, it's okay to say what you think without having to say "I think this" or "I think that." You know, at first, I think it's okay to state what you think without having to preface everything with "I think." That's not what I'm talking about. It's okay to do that. But then when I need one more. Darn it. I don't want to go back there. I'm going to encounter some sheep on the way, I'm sure. There's a sheep right there. I'll go towards that sheep. Do I want to chop down these birch trees while I'm here? No, not really, because they're not going to grow back, because I'm going to move out of simulation distance, and then they're not going to grow back, so I'm just going to leave those there. And I have plenty of birch logs currently anyways, so if I need to make more fence posts, I'll do that. I am completely out of fence posts. I do need to make more fence posts. Well, I think that's all right. I'll probably not actually need to place any more of them down on my way. I already did that. I already placed a whole bunch of them down along this stretch of land. So yeah, what intellectual humility means is that you're not completely certain of what you're talking about. You acknowledge that you're basing your assessment on limited information. Darn it, I want a fence post. Okay, alright, time for a crafting table. Yeah. Crafting table. More sticks. No creepers around? Nope, no creepers. Alright. I will place this crafting table over here. Is this alright? Yeah, this is fine. This is alright. This is alright. Let's actually make some more sticks. And fence posts. Alright, that should be enough for now. And I wanted to place one more over here, just like that. There we go. So yeah, I think that is the antidote to your frustration with disagreement. The reason it's frustrating for people is because it exposes their deceit. Because most people talk as if they understand things very well and pretend to understand things better than they really do. Not most people. That's not true. Not most people. The people that get frustrated by disagreement, the reason that it's frustrating to them is because they like to act like they know what they're talking about, and then when their assessment of things is questioned, it's very frustrating to them, because then it becomes apparent that actually they can't explain themselves all that well, and they don't really know what they're talking about as well as they pretended to. And it's that pretense, it's that the exposure of that deceit is what's frustrating. So if you never make that claim, if you never make the claim to certainty, then it's not going to be frustrating to you. And it's also a bit of an ego trap. It also, like, the reason people want to act like they're sure of what they're talking about is because it enables them to feel like they're superior to other people, like morally superior or just intellectually superior, like they really know better than you. And when you question that, it indirectly questions their claim to superiority, to their intellectual superiority. And that is very frustrating to people, especially when they're not honest about how certain they are about that stuff. And that's not, you don't have to act that way. You can, it's, I think let's block that. No, it's about time to sleep. The norm, the sort of the default for the way we, hello chicken. The default for the way you should feel about things is skepticism. You should be skeptical of everything you hear by default, and that should be expected. You should expect people to be, I have no beds at all? Oh my god. I'm gonna have to make a bed right now, right here. Yeah, the default that you should expect from people is incredulity. You should expect people to not take everything you say as a matter of fact. Because that's the human condition. The experts don't know everything for sure. The experts are in disagreement about things. The people that know as much as there is to know on any given topic will tell you that they don't have complete certainty on the matter, and the most well-informed opinions that people have are not going to be, most of the time, not going to be certain opinions. The certainty is extremely difficult to achieve from a rigorously scientific point of view. It's very difficult, and we have a very limited amount of certainty about anything as human beings, as a species. And that's just the world we live in. And the reason I don't only call myself ignorant, but actually proudly ignorant, is because I think you should be proud of having to endure that condition, of having to endure that condition of ignorance. It is uncomfortable to have such little information about things, but that is the world that we find ourselves in. That even if you do your best to do your research, the more you know, the more you realize how little we understand things, how little information there is out there, and how little can we really be sure about. I just wanted to light this up since I'm here, since I'm over here. So for today's episode, I got the wool. The next thing I was gonna do was go all the way around this giant hole and put some more fence posts up, because I still feel very unsafe around this, because this is such a death pit. Like, it is so easy to walk off here. Looking back at the previous episode, I noticed myself almost doing that, and I think there might be more. There might be like another hole over there, because I think I almost walked off somewhere else into this massive chasm, into the pit. Look at that. That is just death. The chasm of death looking right at you. Up there, that's where I was. Over here, it needs a fence post, because this is also a ledge, a death ledge. So yeah, that is why I think people get very frustrated when you question them, when you question their assessment of things, because their claim to certainty is a lie, because they are pretending. It is arrogance. That is the definition of arrogance, when you pretend to know more than you actually know. That is what arrogance is. It's the pretense. It's the manipulation that's bad about it. As long as you frame your opinions as theoretical in nature, as things that you aren't completely sure of, but things that are based on feelings that you might have, or on the best information that you currently have, you're not going to feel frustrated when people question it, because you already acknowledged that it's not certain, that you don't have, that it might turn out to be the case that your initial assessment was inaccurate. If you live with that acknowledgement, you will feel very comfortable communicating with people that think differently, that have different intuitions about things. And that, by the way, is the norm. You should expect that. You should expect that everybody's intuition about things is going to differ. Because we come from different backgrounds, from different cultural backgrounds and different histories. And because of that, you should expect that people are going to have differing perspectives. As a matter of fact, every single person, everybody out there is going to have a different take on things, on something. No two people on earth are going to agree on everything. Nobody will. Everybody out there, if you talk to them long enough, you will discover that there are going to be certain things that your intuition, the way you feel about things, is not going to align. And that's the norm, and there's nothing wrong with that. That is just this way that you should expect. That's reality. That's just the reality of life, of the human condition, of what it's like to be a human. All right, I also wanted to go up there and light up things at the top, because this is actually at night. Creepers will spawn up there, and then they will rain down on you at night. when you're completely unsuspected. So like I might just be moseying around here at night, feeling like I'm perfectly safe, and suddenly from behind you, a creeper will jump down and explode on you. So I actually want to go up and also place a whole bunch of torches up above, just to feel a little bit more secure. Yeah, I don't want it to be on a snow block. Nope, that is against the art time rules. There we go. There's one there. Also, you know what? I don't like that torch over there. I kind of want it over here instead. But I can't reach that. Oh man, now I have to go collect that one. Okay, yeah, I think that looks better. Okay. What was the next point I was going to make? So yeah, the disagreement feels humiliating to people only when they pretend to be more certain about things than they actually are. When they pretend to understand something better than they actually do. It takes an expert to have it takes being an expert to have a well-informed opinion about things. Vast majority of people just don't have that kind of time on their hands to get themselves well-informed, to do the amount of research that it takes to really have a well-informed opinion about anything, just about every topic out there. It's very complicated. Everything out there. There's a lot of new ones out there on every topic. A lot of things to consider on every topic imaginable. Especially when it comes to the sensitive topics, the traditionally sensitive topics of religion and politics. Those are very complex topics, and you should expect people to have different perspectives about that. About those things in particular. You should expect that. And it's not fair. It's not fair to those people to be frustrated at them if they don't agree with you about it, because that's not a fair standard. You should expect disagreement on those things. And you should feel comfort. You should have no problem with that. Because that's to be expected, because people are going to have different intuitions about things. And that's actually a beautiful thing, by the way. That's not a bad thing that people have that people feel differently about that stuff. That makes it interesting to talk to them. It's interesting to get to know why people, to get to discern the distinguishing factors, the distinguishing things about how we feel about things, to exchange notes about things. It's a wonderful, it's an enjoyable process. If you don't claim certainty about things, you will actually find it enjoyable to talk to people that you disagree with. It's a pleasurable thing. It's pleasant because it's interesting to get to know how other people's intuition about things differs from yours. And it doesn't mean that you don't have to agree with them when you talk about those things. You can only get, as a matter of fact, you know what? I really don't like the phrase agree to disagree, because disagreement is the norm. That's how you never disagree to disagree. Of course you're going to disagree on things. You should expect that. You should always expect disagreement. Even after a lengthy conversation, you can't expect people to come to an agreement just from talking to them. You can only expect people to acknowledge that the perspective that you're trying to propose to them, the perspective that you're presenting to them. You can expect people to acknowledge that as a legitimate perspective. All right, I'm not going to collect that coal right now. I don't want to deal with coal. I don't want coal in my inventory for the time being. All right. Let's put another one down there. And yeah, and when you approach things with that kind of humbleness, with the intellectual humility of an awareness that your perspectives are based on uncertain information, incomplete information, and it's okay. That's okay. You don't have to. The standard of having strong opinions isn't a fair standard. You shouldn't be. Don't let people pressure you into feeling, into agreeing with something that they're saying, or to formulate your own opinions with a strong degree of certainty. You shouldn't have to do that. You should expect people, when you're presenting a different opinion, a different perspective, you should expect people to acknowledge that perspective as a respectable perspective. That, if it's new to them, then you should expect them to perhaps be curious about that, to be curious to find out more. But you can't expect them to just immediately agree with you, to take what you're saying as a matter of fact, as a matter of verifiable fact. And even if you feel very strongly, even if you are very well informed about your perspective and feel very strongly about the level of certainty that you have about something, even in those circumstances, it is not fair to people to expect them to believe you on face value without verifying it for themselves. You should encourage people to verify things for themselves, even if you feel completely certain about what you're saying. And which is, I guess there are certain things that you could there are certain things that you could discern with complete certainty, that you could, that if you were to dig in, to do a thorough deep dive in, you would find a definitive answer to. Like, we can definitely make definitive measurements of things. That's something that science is very good at. We can collect definitive measurements about, like, the distances. You can easily convince somebody that mechanically something will work or not work, because it's a matter of spatial geometry, like that. Those kinds of things are independently verifiable, meaning that any person can confirm for themselves that really is the case. All right, so there are certain things that you could actually be completely certain of, and that's great. And those are bits of sand in an ocean of mystery that we find ourselves in. The things that we can be certain about are very, very tiny bits of the grains of sand. Vast majority of things we just can't be. We just don't have enough information to feel any kind of to feel sure about things. All right, I guess I'll make another red bed, since there's all these flowers, all these red flowers around here, all these poppy flowers. It's such a hard decision. Which one do I pick to take away? They're all. I don't like to mess with natural flower generation because I think it's cool. Like, I love to take pictures. I'll take pictures of natural flower beds because I think it's beautiful. I think the naturally generating arrangements of flowers in Minecraft are just beautiful. Like over there. Like, I'll go over there and take a screenshot of it, and that in itself, like, I find to be very appealing to look at. So it's always like a hard decision for me. Which flower do I pick to pick up? All right, I'll go with this one in the corner because I'm probably not really going to look at that one very much. And I'll make another red bed. All right, now I actually have a bed. Ooh-wee. Okay, I'm gonna store. Oh, I'm gonna move it. Go ahead and move everything down into this chest. How long have I been talking for so far? 38. I have a couple more days. A couple more days. What else was I going to talk about? Yeah, ignorance is the human condition. It's yeah. I wish that we could normalize that. That we could. People like to call other people ignorant as an insult, as if there's something wrong with not knowing things well, with not having a well-rounded understanding of things. That is horseshit. All right, nobody knows shit. It's mean to act like, because you know more than somebody else does, to be condescending towards them about it. Like you shouldn't ever frown upon people that have a different opinion, or have an opinion that's less informed than yours, because that's very common. That's the norm. Ignorance is the norm. As a species, we are ignorant. That's what we live with. We don't have clarity about things. Clarity, by the way, I think that's a wonderful word. And clarity on things is what is very precious. And actually, I think that would be a good name for this mountain. I want to name this mountain Clarity Mountain. Yeah. That's gonna be what I refer to this mountain as. This is Clarity Mountain from here on. I don't want to put up a sign yet because I don't know where to put. I haven't figured out what I want that sign to be. Eventually, I'll put a sign down that says Clarity Mountain, but not yet because I don't know yet. Where do I want to do that at? Put some more torches up, just to feel a little safer from anything that wants to spawn up above my little entrance. Initially, I wanted to make this video about the subject of insecurity, because that's another pet peeve of mine. I think the common wisdom about insecurity is misleading. People like to talk about insecurity as if it's a bad thing, and I think that's nonsense. I think that's not, because that's just the reality that we live in. The reality of the human condition is that the world we are forced to live in a state of deep insecurity. Like, no matter how much you, especially in a hardcore Minecraft is an excellent example of that. No matter how much you protect yourself, how invincible of an armor, how much armor you have, you're always going to be somewhat vulnerable. How do I want to do this over here? The thing about torches is they're gonna melt the snow, so the snow that's around them is gonna disappear. So you might as well just pick it up with the shovel before that happens, just to not miss out on all of that free snow that is infinitely reproducible. Okay, I think that's enough torches. Maybe one more over here. I broke my shovel. Do I have another? I don't have another shovel. All right. I think that's enough torches for right now. I think that will do it. So I haven't really put anything up on that corner. Probably should. All right, I need a shovel though. I need another shovel. I'm out of shovels. All right, I'm gonna head back down. I kind of want to look at this from a distance at night. I need food. I need to eat. Oops. shovel? I have no more charcoal? That's not good. That means that it's time to chop some wood. But yeah, I was going to talk about insecurity. I guess I'll save that for another episode. I feel like I can talk for a whole episode about how unfortunate it is that insecurity has such a bad rep. Because that's just the reality of what we're up against. The reality is our lives are very insecure. Everything about your life, you might it might all the relationships you have with people, the amount of money you have, the job that you have, all of it, none of it is you can't take any of it for granted. It might all, you might lose everything one day, just from, and it might not even be your fault. Like insecurity is realistic. It's normal to feel insecure about things, and I think people like to pretend that that's not the case. People like to pretend to act as if they're not worried about losing their relationships with people, about losing their jobs or losing their livelihoods. No, your livelihood depends on other people, on people that might have ulterior motives. That's the reality of the human condition, that there are bad actors out there that might not like you, that might want to, that might opportunistically be looking out for a way to hurt you, to compromise your livelihood, because maybe just because because of your perspectives, maybe because of your perspective doesn't align with theirs and they don't like that. Just for that, for that reason alone, people might be trying to find a way to hurt you in some way. And you're going to be vulnerable to that. And there's nothing wrong with admitting to that, that's the insecurity that we're forced to live in. But that's a topic for another video. I want to talk about that later on. I want to make a full video about that. This one is about disagreement. All right, nothing spawning up there. Well, I guess you can't be certain about that. I'll have to go back up there too. Where are we at? Day 38. Yeah, I still got some time to do that. All right, I'm gonna sleep real quick. I guess I'm pretty safe. I feel pretty safe sleeping out here. Maybe I want another torch right here. Nah, that just feels excessive. Let's just put it down on the ground over here. I think that'll look better. Yeah, that looks all right. It's just fine. Okay. One final thing that I had on my index card is to talk about how religion in particular is a very sensitive topic because of this. Because religion, in the way that it functions, I think it forces people to be more certain about their beliefs than the level of information they have actually warrants. Because of the way prayer works. I think it's because of prayer. Because in the moment of prayer, you are forced to. In the moment of prayer, I want to throw this bone meal in this chest just so that it's not clogging up my inventory. Is there a bunch of raw salmon too? Oh, I wanted to put some charcoal in here. I forgot about that. All right. Yeah, I want to go all the way up there and put some more torches up in that corner just to feel a little safer. I'm worried about creepers dropping down on me. Yeah, I'm gonna spend the entire freaking episode doing this. Because because I feel very insecure. It's so bad. Yeah, religion in particular makes it really, and that's one of the, I guess, the shortcomings of religion. Is I think religion in particular makes people vulnerable to feeling frustrated with other people that don't align with their worldview. And that's because prayer, in the moment of prayer, you are forced to engage in a suspension of disbelief. Because it feels weird. You get a sense of cognitive dissonance if you're not really sure about your belief. Like if you have doubt in your belief, it feels strange to pray when you don't really feel sure that you're being listened to, that you're not just praying to an empty void. And that happens to people to religious people. Like oftentimes religious people will talk about how they encounter times in their lives when they feel, very appropriately, they'll feel a sense of doubt about their religious worldview, their religious belief system. And that's perfectly normal. That happens to religious people. There's nothing wrong with that. And you'll feel, if you are in that state of doubt about your religion, you're going to notice that it feels odd when you pray, because it's hard to pray when you're not really sure that it works. It feels weird. You get a sense of cognitive dissonance about it. And that, I think, is the mechanism that's kind of like prayer is a kind of a form of self-hypnosis, because of that mechanism, because you kind of have to suspend your disbelief in order to pray effectively. Because otherwise, you're worried that it's not going to work. Because prayer makes you feel like, if you aren't really, if you don't believe strongly enough, then it might not work, right? Then God might feel some kind of way. Then God might be irritated with you or something, with how weak your, hello doggies, God might feel like your faith is lacking or something, and might not honor your prayers or something like that. People get worried about that. I think that's how it works. But yeah, I think prayer is the reason why people feel particularly sensitive about their belief system when you question their religion. And I don't know if there's a way to overcome that, to bypass that. Religion kind of leaves you vulnerable to that kind of susceptibility by nature, and I don't know if there's anything to be done about that. That was an extra one. Oops. I'm just going to convert all of this into snow blocks. Alright. Okay, now the next step. Alright, I feel safe enough now. The next step is going to be to actually do some work on this, on the interior here. So I'm going to put everything from this chest into the other chest out there. Do I want a chicken on the inside here? Just as a pet chicken? Nope, no chicken in there. Sometimes when you throw the egg, it hatches and you get a little chick out of it. Alright, I'm gonna leave this bed here. It's gonna be my permanent bed inside here. I kind of like the natural look of this over here. This is kind of like this. Maybe I'll actually just leave it as it is, and just carve out some space over here for more chests and stuff. So actually, maybe I don't need to take anything out of this chest. Just leave that there. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what I'm gonna do. I have to think about that. Yeah, and that's about all. That's about all I wanted to talk about today. Kind of covered everything I wanted to say. How do you? The other question is, how do you approach people that do get frustrated with you, or not agreeing with them? How do you handle that? Because that's also kind of a tricky one. I think that it's legitimate to just insist on your incredulity, to express that, to say that, what, it's not a fair standard. It's not fair for them to expect you to agree with it. Because you should encourage people not to take what you're saying as a matter of fact, because it's not. Because whatever your intuition about things is, it's based on feelings. Even if you're very well informed, if you consider it from a rigorously scientific perspective, there's possibilities that you haven't considered. Even if you feel like you understand it very well, there might be things that you haven't thought about that might lead to some kind of a contradiction in your logic. So you can never really be completely sure about almost anything. Where are we at? What's the day 39? I guess I have like one more day to go. There's a cave right underneath me or something. There's a zombie there. That's not good. That means it might not let me sleep if there's a mob nearby. Alright, well, I need to bring this episode to an end. So it feels so quiet and peaceful in this cave. I really like that. I guess I can kind of end it early because I just don't know what else I want to talk about. What's next? So yeah, if people want to act like they know better than you, find your claw. All right, stand up for yourself. Stand up for your ignorance. Stand up for being proudly ignorant. Don't let people pressure you into agreeing with what they're saying. That's not fair. It's not fair to do that to people. All right. And I'll end it there. That's about all I wanted to say. Please let me know in the comments how you feel about this and what your thoughts are in this regard. I'd love to chat with you about it. All right. And with that, I'm going to end this episode. All right. Shadowlay, my friends from the future. Shadowlay.